Hey guys, this is Adrian here, and I have another knowledge-based video for you. I don't know if it's going to be uploaded on the main channel or if this is going on my new channel related from my new website that I'm talking about, trying to teach you guys stuff. But not only that, kind of to share my opinions on topics like these that interested me. I posted this article out, reblogged it, got a lot of heat and praise for it, and I want to share my opinions on it and kind of clarify my explanation behind this. So this is the 13 most useless majors from philosophy to journalism, all kind of centering around liberal arts. This is a study taken at Georgetown University along with statistics from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and basing it off of recent graduate employment, experienced graduate employment, recent graduate earnings, experienced graduate earnings, and projected growth in total number of jobs from 2010 to 2020. Flipping through the list here, you can see fine arts as number 1. At the most useless major, going down the list, it's all centered around kind of liberal art-esque majors, from graphic design to architecture to journalism to English literature and language to even anthropology and archaeology, and the list goes down here. Now, let me explain to you why I personally, in my opinion, kind of agree with this, in terms of these are majors that kids don't need to really be majoring in, and this is stuff that the problem I see in the system with this. I mean, again, I'm not trying to sound naive here because I know I'm not in college yet, and I don't plan on going to college, and I have set opinions on this, and maybe it's because I had an early work ethic, working online and starting my own business and stuff like that. But it's, in my opinion, so the reason you always see liberal arts kind of at the lower standards compared to science and stuff like that. In today's society, the thing is that science directly impacts the way we live as of right now. If there's a problem in the world, whether it's an epidemic, a virus, we find a solution by testing it. Hypothesis, we test it, we get a definitive result. And then we find out, this chemical A can fight off this virus B, and, we have a solution, and we directly save lives. Not we, but, in science as a subject, as a whole, saves lives. It contributes to health, and this branches off into medical and all of that. And, that involves math and all of that. The only thing of arts is that art doesn't directly it impacts the world as a whole. Provides us entertainment and brings color to a bland life and a bland world, I should say. It's always great to have color and richnesses in life and creativity, but it doesn't directly impact us as human beings. Is what I'm trying to say, is that, and that's why I kind of you always see science and stuff as the upper end of the and the college majors and stuff like that. Now, the reasons I see these as useless majors, I don't see them as useless careers. By all means, you can make a great living, great job out of these careers, but it's not something I see that kids should really major in. And the fact that art isn't something that you can grade, in my opinion. It's not something you can give an A plus or a B plus or an F on something, because even if you are, this art may be compared to this art, this one may look really different, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's, bad art. Because you can't draw doesn't mean it's bad. You may have a, a really creative piece, but you can't really, there's so many different terms, so many type of aspects of art that, there's like surrealism, there's different forms of art that can be kind of, compared to each other, and they're all different in their own aspect. So how do you grade art in that aspect? Not only that, how do you go about teaching art? You can teach kids how to paint, you can give them projects, but everybody paints different, everybody has their own techniques, everybody goes about differently. What they see in their head isn't all the same as everybody else. If you tell them to all paint a picture of an apple, everything's going to look different from one another. That's just obvious. Now, that's the example I use because, if I taught you math, if I taught you how to add 1 plus 1, definitively, that's the, the rule of addition. 1 plus 1 is always going to equal 2. By all means, always repetitive. Whatever you add one to another, it's always going to equal said number, your final result. Well, if I told you to draw an apple, I can't tell you how to draw an apple, and I can't even draw in steps. It's not something I can step by step teach you, or something you can open a book and try and copy, because even if I gave you steps, breakdown of drawing an apple, doesn't theoretically mean you'll be able to draw an apple by the end of that lesson. It may be deformed, it may be really detailed, it may be simple. That's what I'm trying to say. So weighing in that, how do you teach and how do you grade art? It's really a hard concept for me, because it's creativity, and that's kind of something you can't really put a grade on and put a stamp on, or kind of give a lesson on, in my opinion. And the problem with this is now, getting out of college, you're going to get your degree, and you're going to go out into the real world, and being realistic here, you're going to have to find a job, and you need to make a decent income. And I know a lot of people are artists and stuff, you want to do what you want to do, they want to do what they love, and by all means, yes, highly above all, do what you want to do. My opinion doesn't have to impact you in that sort, but realistically speaking and practically speaking, you need money when it comes to the real world. That's just a common necessity nowadays. And I know it sounds horrible, but in today's society, you need to have money to put a roof over your head. You need to have money to put food on the table. You need to have money to put clothes on your back. And especially if you have a family to support, by all means, money is going to get you through that. And that's what we need nowadays. And with any other, major career, yeah, a lot of people major in one thing and end up working in another field. That's just society as a whole. That just happens with our whole schooling system. But it happens a lot in arts, and a lot of problems with arts is you see a lot of freelance workers. I mean, I freelance on the internet with technology related stuff, but artists tend to have a lot of freelancers. The problem with freelancing is, it's great because a lot of people want to be their own boss. And again, you can't really judge creativity, so in that aspect, a lot of people don't like to have somebody looking over their work in terms of creativityness, because how do you tell somebody their work is bad and stuff like that? How do you critique somebody's work where somebody else that work may be a work of art? In that aspect, that the problem with freelancing is you're either doing really good, and a lot of people do really good in the art field, or you're doing really bad and you're bouncing around, and that also happens a lot in the art field. Overall, art, I think, and liberal arts as a whole is based off of skill. I can't teach you how to become a better actor. I can't teach you how to paint, painting similar to Picasso's or whatever it may be. I can teach you about art. I can teach you about the techniques. I can teach you about photography. I can teach you about the techniques, the shooting, and all of this, and the rule of thirds. But I can't teach you how to take a really, really good photo. That's just something that you capture. That's just something that you do by over and over again working at it. And when it comes to the real world, I'm going to hire the guy with the skills. You graduate 4 years, you spend all the money you do, you have a piece of paper that says you're a, liberal arts major, whatever it may be, fine arts major. In the end, I'm going to hire the guy who can do the work that looks best. Because in art, when it comes to it, your skill, it's different from everything else. Because everything that you're all about is all based off of your work. If your work is great, then, that's my opinion on you. It's not whether you went to college or not, or how many years you went, or where you got your degree from. It's how your work reflects you directly. It's not an essay. It's not a whatever it's not a document typed up. It's a work of art, and whether it's a web page or whether it's a painting or whatever it may be, the stuff you produce is what I'm going to be able to judge you off of. And that's my problem, that kids are majoring in this, they're spending all their money, they're spending all their time in a job that's not even promised to them when they get out. With any career, it's not promised. But especially in the art career, it's definitely a hard career out there. It's, definitely hard to become an actor on Broadway or something of that sort. But yeah, it can be done. In all means, it can be done. But it's all based off of skill. And schooling is not going to necessarily prove to me that you have the skill. Your work is going to prove to me that you have the skill in the end. Anyways, that's my 2 cents on it. What do you guys think? Leave in the comments below. Video responses are obviously welcome. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.